communicate this way. So shall we move, since the songs, at number 6 it says Lou, Plains of Ohio, those are 2 different songs. Shall we move New Year's Eve after mid-show announcements? Okay, good.
Right now? Slating.
Good evening. Welcome to Red Barn Radio. This evening we continue forward in our 22nd year of broadcasting Red Barn Radio. I'm host Bradford Becker, and we welcome you to show number 856 tonight. Sally Buice and Molly Rochelson of songwriter duo the Montvales, or the Montvales, spent much of their formative years busking amidst the Elvis impersonators and musical saw players of the Market Square in their hometown of Knoxville, Tennessee. It was there that they honed their harmonies and their joyful sound. Eventually, Sally and Molly graduated to playing indoors on the local Americana radio station, WDVX, our friends, and found community and old-time circles around town. After moving away for several years to seek their fortunes separately, Molly and Sally finally reunited in 2019 to write and record their first album, Heartbreak Summer Camp. Now they have a new album, Born Strangers, released in February. Welcome, Sally and Molly, the Montvales, to Red Barn Radio.
And she became a woman of God. Hey, 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 hallelujah. Ooh, baby, there is power in the blood. There is power running to the street light outside my window that's been keeping me awake. And I know there's power in but we live in a right to work state. Some days I don't trust a single person. If there's a point, it's one that I can't see. But I'm gonna make something good from this, even if it is the death of me. In the hospital down the street, I went walking over there today, and well, there ain't nothing left to see, just a pile of rubble and nothing but trouble. And they try to tell me my heart is but a spring. Some days I don't trust a single person. If there's a point, it's one that I can't see. But I'm gonna make something good from this, even if it is the death of me. Yeah, I'm gonna make something good from this, even if it is the death of me.
Good evening and welcome to Red Barn Radio. Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to Roots Music Southern Style. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. LexArts, Lexington, Kentucky's premier cultural development, advocacy, and fundraising organization, working for the development of a strong and vibrant arts community as a means of enhancing the quality of life in Central Kentucky. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Here's the host of Red Barn Radio to tell us more about tonight's performance.
Sally Buice and Molly Rochelson, the Montvales, now make their home in Cincinnati, Ohio, though they are originally from Knoxville, and they spend their days touring extensively and crafting intimate, story-driven songs that explore joys and perils of self-determination. Their new album, Born Strangers, was recorded in Nashville's famed Tractor Shed studio. Tracks from the album have been featured by Bluegrass Situation, Holler, the American Songwriter, the Bluegrass Standard, Twangville, and more. The 12 tracks span the folk country spectrum, showcasing the Montvales' distinctive harmonies and their knack for telling stories and asking questions that pique the interest of a growing audience. We are glad to have the Montvales with us here tonight on Red Barn Radio. Welcome, Sally and Molly.
Thanks so much for having us.
There's a red hawk on the south side. We approach slowly and look him in the eyes for a time. And I will borrow an extra half hour to stand here with your hand in mine, and so we find ourselves 200 feet above the Tennessee, still as the seasons keep changing, with your arms around me. Our little backyard fire was going wild in the wind. I turned to you and said, I don't think I will ever be warm again, but you'll turn the heat up to 80 and you'll turn down the lights and cover me up. The whole damn world's so scary lately. Well, the biblical floods come once or twice a year now, and it's too much sorrow for this town to allow. So if to you God was a man all alone in a tiny brown room, who could blame you? But I'll turn the heat up to 80, yeah. I'll turn down the lights and cover you up. The whole damn world's so scary lately. You found me in the August rain, just asking, where does the movie cut to after the carnival ends?
Thank you so much. we're so happy to be here tonight. Thanks to Red Barn Radio for having us, and to our friends who came to see us and our small but mighty audience here. That song is called Above the Tennessee, and this next one is called Born Strangers, and it's the title track from our new record. Here in the shadow of the Fifth Third building, which we were just informed by some locals is actually the tallest building in the world. I didn't know we were going to get to see that today, but it's here in Lexington.
Yeah. Why go to New York?
That's what I'm always saying.
If I'll make it through this winter with my dignity intact, it'll be a miracle. And just because I miss you doesn't mean I want you back. It's just sometimes that I don't know who I am. But I drove past the liquor store and the YMCA, all the pieces of the life we tried to make. They were something they didn't make me wish I'd stay. And it's a shame, I know, we were both born stranger than most, but I can't live another minute feeling like a ghost. I'm too tired to be as ruthless, baby, as we both know I could. And I've been told that retribution won't do me any good. So I just try to keep it between the lines and mind my own business and bide my time and hope you're out there doing better for yourself. But I drove past the liquor store and the YMCA, all the pieces of the life we tried to make. They were something, but they didn't make me wish I'd stay. And it's a shame, I know, we were both born stranger than most, but I can't live another minute feeling like a ghost. No, I can't live another minute feeling like a ghost.
Thank you.
Well, this next one we wrote after an experience with a shopping cart demolition derby, which is a thing that happens in the city of New Orleans. and a thing that we both loved. It really left an impression. And we just toured through New Orleans a couple weeks ago, and we were having this conversation about how it's a city that tends to get the best of people. And I was like, yeah, like it can get the best of me. I love it. It's great. And then no sooner did we roll into New Orleans than I lost my wallet immediately. So yeah, we're always New Orleans fool. Anyway, that's what this one's about.
Happily every time.
Put me in, coach. I've been too long on the road, and this Delta town is a fever dream. I'll be the greatest thing you've ever known. Lift me to that pharaoh throne, and I'll be queen. God knows we've taken some hits, but it can't keep pouring like this. Before the city sinks, before the telephone rings, for the ticking of the clock's too much to bear, before the tide rises, get out your best disguises. When we're done, we'll take them off and leave them here. Flying down 59 sail, getting in the habit of being proud. A good man is hard to find, but we ain't worried about all of that right now. Oh, we've all got someone to miss, but it can't keep pouring like this. Before the city sinks, before the telephone rings, for the ticking of the clock's too much to bear, before the tide rises, get out your best disguises. When we're done, we'll take them off and leave them here. Leave them here, leave them here. When we're done, we'll take them off and leave them here.
Thank you. Well, here's one from our first record for you. It's actually one of the first songs we ever wrote together. We wrote it at summer camp as kids. It's called If I Die First, which is, for some reason, something we were already thinking about.
And we haven't chilled out since.
If I die first, just put me in the ground, no fancy hearse. Now while you're still around, go down to the river, swim until you get your fill. Left you a six-pack and a rope swinging my will. If I die first, before your long journey's done, baby, grab your purse. We're gonna race that setting sun. I've got the answer, prancer, dancer, baby, don't you cry. I'll be there waiting for you, darling, on the other side. If I die first, send me away with something sweet. What could be worse than leaving dust on banjo strings? Time's a ticket, maybe we should dance. Tip me low, I won't break I die first. If I die first.
So, producer Ed, I'm wondering, since I started off the show mispronouncing our guests' names, I wonder if I might just read my first introductory sentence for you to give you some copy that's actually usable. Let's do something that's usable. It just feels like it will be a better start for the evening. Let me go ahead and just read that first sentence, and then we can get on with things. Excellent. Sally Buice and Molly Rochelson of songwriter duo the Montvales spent much of their formative years busking amidst the Elvis impersonators and musical saw players of the Market Square in their hometown of Knoxville, Tennessee. That's a take. All right, good. All right, thank you. All right, now I feel like we can actually begin. Wow, you guys go way back. I mean, hearing you talk about your summer camp, how old were the two of you when you were together at a summer camp?
Summer camp, 16 or 17.
Oh, okay, so you were in high school. It
old
wasn't
enough
like
to,
when you were babies.
Write a line that says six-pack in it.
Yeah. Oh,
and
see
not
that.
like be really alarming.
Gotcha. So did you all go to high school together? Did you all know each other before that summer camp, or is that where you met?
No, we didn't. Neither of those things. Our
Oh, okay.
parents were friends before we were born. They were both like social workers in Knoxville together back in the day, and then introduced us at a Martin Luther King Day parade when we were like 12 or 13.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at that point, were you both like living in the same area where you were going to the same school, or trying to get a sense of like when you guys were actually buddies and hanging out together? Were you in the same school?
We weren't. We went to high schools that weren't so far apart, maybe 30 minutes, but I was living in Knoxville and Molly was living in Maryville, which is where the Montvale name comes from.
Yeah, we went to church together. Sally's dad is the minister at the Tennessee Valley Unitarian Universalist Church in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Unitarian Universalist.
where we grew up.
Excellent. All
Yeah.
right. Gotcha. So you all grew up in good liberal families.
Sure did.
Yeah.
The Unitarians. We can always plan on them. Either the Unitarians or the Episcopals. We can plan on, towing the line for the right political things. So, that's pretty cool. And so, early on, then in your sort of friendship, did you all discover each other as musicians together? Did you guys play music together even back in the days early on when you met, or did that start at that summer camp?
Yeah, it didn't take us too long to get started. I think we traded a lot of mixed CDs, some of which are still in the car out there. And then eventually we started playing together. There was a Green Day song that we used to play at the Unitarian Church. I think that was the beginning of it, and went from there.
For the like graduation ceremony.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. You mean the famous Green Day song?
Yeah, that one.
You know the
Yeah,
one.
that one. I hear it at a lot of. I teach school, so I have heard that a number of times.
American Idiot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, if you grew up in good liberal families, then music was a value.
Definitely.
And so what kind of music were you all listening to growing up? Maybe there are two different kinds of music. There's more than one kind of liberal music. It wasn't
Turns
just
out.
folk,
What?
right? Yeah.
Mine was pretty folky. My parents used to take me out of school to go to the Blue Plate special at WDVX.
Oh, all right.
Especially when there was a female-fronted band, so they planted the seeds early. I used to play a lot of old-time music. My mom and I would both go to old-time jams together. Yeah.
And Mom was a player too?
She plays fiddle, yeah, and banjo. This was her banjo.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah.
Is your mom still around?
Yeah,
All
I just
right.
talked her out of the banjo.
Oh, all right, nice. But she's still playing fiddle, and she's still involved in the old time scene down in Knoxville?
She's still playing some, not really going to jams like she used to, but Yeah.
Are you staying after her for that? Are you trying to get her to get back into it, or is she
Oh,
just
well,
finding other things to do?
Yeah, she's busy in the garden these days.
Oh, that's
I
all right.
can't fault her.
That's a fine pursuit.
Yeah.
And what about you, Molly?
Definitely some folk music. I listened to a lot of like 90s pop country radio with my mom, but I feel like that was a really good era for pop country radio. There's a lot of like, the Chicks were huge back then, and I feel like their songwriting was really influential for me. She loves Tom T. Hall, and so I saw that Tom T. Hall has played this very program once before,
Stood
and
right
kind of
there.
lost my mind.
Right.
Yeah, I definitely, that song 400 Hogs we used to sing in the car all the time
sweet.
together.
Sweet. And so when you got to that point where your parents are both, I assume, encouraging you guys to follow your interest in music and your passion for that, did you all envision at that time that you'd be doing something like what you're doing now? Or, you come from an old time background. Most adults who come from old time music leave old time for a period and then return to it. Is that what happened with you, Sally?
Yeah. I mean, I played in a band in college that did a lot of old time. I feel like I was never fully gone from it, but also kind of all along, songwriting was my greatest love of the whole thing. So yeah, I think even when we were kids, we definitely dreamed of going on tour and writing songs. We had to try on other lives for a while, but we eventually made it there.
Yeah. And so how did you get the songwriting bug, and who told you at some point in time in your young life that you really had a nice way of phrasing things and doing lyrics?
Well, my older brother wrote songs too, so I think my competitive child self was like, well, I could do that. Like, I could do it too. Seems good. And then, I don't know, pretty immediately when we started writing songs, we would share them with each other and really hype each other up about it. So that was huge.
Oh, nice. That's a nice sibling relationship. And Molly, are you a songwriter yourself as well?
Yeah, definitely. I would say of all the musical words that float around in our world, like songwriter is the one I identify with the most. And I really don't, I just kind of always did it growing up. I don't remember, like, looking back, I was like a pretty shy kid in many ways. So it's like weird that I just like adopted this thing that is kind of bold looking back, but I really just always was writing songs.
Did you have a sibling or a friend who said to you, geez, Molly, this is really great, do more?
My mom was always so encouraging.
Huh.
Yeah, but it took me a long time to share anything I'd written with even her, so.
That's cool that both of you have strong mom figures in your life.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so are they like listening tonight? Maybe?
Could be.
Probably.
Yeah, seems likely.
Well, if
We'll
they
find
aren't, you
out
got to call them and
afterwards.
tell them to tune in, right? And so is your mom also a player?
She plays piano, and was in like madrigal choir in high school in a way that like really stuck with her. Like she's really loved singing specifically and never really stopped singing. Doesn't like perform out, but is very talented.
Yeah. And so Sally, you come from sort of the Unitarian Universalist tradition. You have a parent. Is it your
My dad.
Your
yeah.
dad. Okay. Can you guys talk a little bit about how that sort of church tradition has impacted you guys in the South? We hear so many stories, mostly stories from our artists on Red Barn who come from sort of more mainstream Baptist and sort of Southern religious traditions, church traditions. Talk a little bit about how music in your church impacted you, because I'm sure it's very different from the music that a lot of our past artists here have grown up with.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the common thread there is there was a lot of communal singing that meant a lot to both of us. And also, the camp that we went to, there was a morning circle. It was a Unitarian Universalist camp. And yeah, every morning we all got together and sang, and those who played an instrument would sit on the stage and play along. So that was like a formative thing for us. Yeah, and I think we got really connected to political folk early on due to the Unitarian affiliation with that.
Like Woody Guthrie and these sorts of traditions, and Peter, Paul, and Mary, and
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, all the folk singers who came through the like Highlander Center, which is over in Newmarket, Tennessee, kind of made the rounds at the Unitarian Church too. So grew up getting to see a little bit of that. And there is a Grateful Dead song in the Unitarian Universalist songbook, if that's what you're asking.
It wasn't,
one
but
in
what
there.
song is it?
I think it's Ripple.
Ripple,
Ripple is in
yeah.
there. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
It paints a picture.
Oh, nice. Hey, folks, I'm talking to Sally Buice and Molly Rochelson of the Montvales. They're our guests here on Red Barn Radio tonight. They come to us from Cincinnati by way of Knoxville. And we're so glad you guys are here and look forward to more music and conversation. Welcome back to Montvales.
Hey there, Lou. When I look across the desert, all I see is you. And in my eyes, you go on forever, so I guess that's why it's gotta turn out alright. And in this mountain you'll come here when you're older, and I hope it's the same. And it'll be your turn to get washed in the rain. When you wake up, you ask, where have I gone? And though the time goes fast, I know it's gonna be too long. So in the countryside, maybe you'll come back when you can taste the wine. Everything that's worth it, well, it takes some time. By the ocean wide, can you keep on wading through the rising tide? In this world that we've been burning, can you make a light? When you wake up, you ask, where have I gone? And though the time goes fast, I know it's gonna be too long. Hey there, Lou. When I look across the desert, all I see is you. And in my eyes, you go on forever, so I guess that's why it's gotta turn out alright.
Thank you. Well, that one's called Lou. It's on our new record. And it kind of has to do with keeping the world beautiful and wild and, at the very least, inhabitable for future generations. And so does this next one have to do with those themes, but it's a little pushier about it. This one's called Plains of Ohio.
dark and silent plains of Ohio stretch as far as my tired eyes can see. But I just keep them fixed on the road up ahead, and for miles we don't see a thing. Some folks refuse to make decisions, say what you want, that ain't us. So I had him drop me just south of Zanesville, down by the river in the snow and the mud. Oh, whoa, 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 said a living could be made. We had a life on 20 acres. I had a plan to keep us safe. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Or a coward, as the long hungry line of desperate men. I never saw the question coming till I watched that black line come creeping in. Oh, whoa, 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 they're saying not to drink the water, and they said Athens County's next. Took what I needed from the Walmart. Can you forgive me for the rest? I saw that shiny chrome compressor station. I watched the flames rise with cold and bitter joy. Lily, I did it for the mountain. Lily, I did it for our boy. Lily, I did it for the mountain. Lily, I did it for our boy.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so I don't know, talking a little bit about the values we grew up with in the Unitarian Church. One of them was definitely service and like being of use to the world and looking out for people's inherent worth and dignity and making sure that that was protected. And so that led me to my first sort of career before I was playing country music for a living, which was working in abortion care and in the like reproductive rights world kind of generally. And then I started playing country music and was like, interesting, these occupy two very different spaces. How can I bring them closer? So I wrote this song over a number of years, trying very hard to get it right. This is called Bad Faith.
State of Tennessee gave you extra time to think about that choice you made the second you found out. So you waited and you prayed. Everybody's got something to say. They're yelling from the sidewalk, or they're building signs along the interstate. It's that faith deal that they made you, honey. Gonna set you up just to knock you down. There's no way, just gotta keep on running. Ain't the end of the world this time around. Yeah, you waited and you prayed, saved your money and your face. 'Cause good girls keep all that shit to themselves. And even if you stayed, well, you knew there'd come a day when you'd be desperate for something else. And you heard what they said about your mama and all the dreams that she watched burn. You're only 16, smart as hell and scared to death. 'Cause now they're telling you it's your turn. Well, it's alright if the life that you choose belongs to you. They never get to hear you apologize. You were meant for so much more. Baby, don't you waste your time on just anyone out there looking for a fight. 'Cause it's a bad faith deal that they made you, honey. Gonna set you up just to knock you down. There's no way, just gotta keep on running. Ain't the end of the world this time around. No, it ain't the end of the world this time around.
Great song. Great song.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Well, we've got lots more music and conversation with Sally and Molly, the Montvales. But I would like to take a moment to remind listeners that Red Barn live streams, both tonight's and on any Wednesday, remain available online for you to view at your convenience, along with our live audio streams, compliments of WGAD.net in Central New York. Our guest next week on Red Barn Radio is Katie Burkhart. Katie is a lover of all things folk and alternative. She's a true to heart singer-songwriter. She grew up around music and art, taught herself how to play guitar, among other instruments, and dove headlong into her musical passion at a young age. Now she's 26, paving the way to what we think will be an exciting career for her in music. I know she's looking forward to sharing her songs with you. You will enjoy Katie's singing and playing. She'll be here with a band, and we'll certainly have some great conversation. That's Katie Burkhart for her first time on our program, in studio and on Red Barn Radio's live stream, 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. And now back to tonight's Red Barn Radio program. We welcome you on all of our social media platforms, broadcasting from the Arts Place Performance Hall here in the great city of Lexington, Kentucky, the horse capital of the world. Welcome back, the Montvales, to Red Barn Radio.
Thanks for having us.
what's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine. Alcohol, caffeine, money, and time, oh, I don't mind. Lead paint on our apartment walls, Jenny Lewis record playing down the hall. We're hanging out here till the empire falls, or they finally raise the rent. You said time is a spiral, but I guess we'll play along. We're still afraid of dying, and I ain't done writing songs. Whatever's coming next was gonna happen all along. We're still afraid of dying, right or wrong. Ooh, 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 ooh. Fireworks on New Year's Eve sound like North Side is under siege. It ain't the mountains and it ain't the sea, but I can't think of one place better. You said time is a spiral, but I guess we'll play along. We're still afraid of dying, and I ain't done writing songs. Whatever's coming next was gonna happen all along. We're still afraid of dying. We're still afraid of dying. No, I'm so afraid of dying. Right or wrong. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh.
Thank you. Well, that one was about our town, our new town of Cincinnati that we've lived in for the last 3 years or so, which has been nothing but good to us. And there's not enough songs written about places in Ohio that are from a loving perspective. So we added that one to the canon.
And this next one is about our original hometown of Knoxville. We kind of wrote it together in the deep quarantine time when we had a lot of free time on our hands, and we used it to observe our neighbors and make up backstories to their lives. And this one is for a neighbor who had a feud with an albino raccoon and really loved to listen to loud rock and roll. Yeah, he gave us good material to work with.
One, two, three, four.
Born underneath the ring around the moon, into a world that was ending soon. He got down to business immediately, cutting class and raising hell off Broadway. And at night he has those dreams he's driving a Dodge Durango from the passenger seat, and he says there's a brake for emergencies, but that's never worked out for people like me. When the dark night comes for my soul, way I've been living gonna take its toll. Future ain't nothing but a deep black hole. I just gotta hear that rock and roll. I just gotta hear that. I just gotta hear that rock and roll. I just gotta hear that. I just gotta hear that rock and roll.
it gotta be so damn serene? Can a man stand on his own front porch and sing? Pour some sugar on me. When the dark night comes for my soul, where I've been living gonna take its toll. Future ain't nothing but a deep black hole. I just gotta hear that rock and roll. I just gotta hear that. I just gotta hear that rock and roll. I just gotta hear that. I just gotta hear that rock and roll. Born underneath the ring around the moon.
Thank you very much.
We'll play another Heartbreak Summer Camp song for you now. It's an early traveling song.
She left Tennessee like a thief on the run, hauling her bleeding heart across the country like a loaded gun. Oh, Louise, are you the same kind of trouble as me? Can I hold your hand out on the road? She headed way up north and she didn't tell a soul, leaving behind a life of heartbreak and cold. But little girl, you didn't bet on the cold. None of them fellas felt like home. Rolly cigarettes and whiskey on the rocks. And when she starts to sing, it's like an old country jukebox. It's a big old world, oh, but we'll work with what we've got. Ride or die, ready or not. Ride or die, ready or not.
All right.
Thank you.
So Sally and Molly, after high school and summer camps and all that stuff, did you both decide to pursue college careers?
Sure did.
Yeah. What'd you do?
I took a meandering route to eventually study environmental science with a focus on agriculture.
And where were you doing that?
At first, UT Chattanooga, and then UT Knoxville, back
Okay.
home.
Uh-huh. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Molly?
I went to Warren Wilson College outside
right.
of Asheville, North Carolina,
Yeah.
which was very fun. And I studied sociology and gender studies, and I was also on the electric crew because kind of like Berea College, close to here, it's a work college, so everybody has to like learn a trade at the same time. So
All right.
that was pretty fun.
Yeah, and what about the music stuff they have going on down at Warren Wilson? There's some cool stuff happening there, right?
Yeah.
Close to Asheville.
Yeah, huge traditional music and old time scene there. They host the Swananoa gathering every year,
Right.
which is giant. And I weirdly didn't do like any old time music in college except for when I would come home to Knoxville, even though it was all around. But I was in the punk band briefly at Warren Wilson.
Yeah, but then the country music thing, I'm kind of fascinated thinking about that, and I really liked your song that you wrote. The song you were talking about earlier, where you're trying to sort of reconcile that country music world with, some of your own personal values and whatnot. Talk about your country music stint. What'd you do that for?
Well, interesting way to put that. I don't know. I still love country music.
Yeah.
I think I was referring to us as within the country music sort of sphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I grew up with it and then sort of eschewed it for a while. I think because of the values that I was raised with and feeling really opposed to just dominant culture in Tennessee in general.
Sure.
Like
Well, that's kind of what I'm talking about. With
yeah,
country
feeling
music.
very
Right.
much like an outsider.
Yeah.
And so being like, whatever, I'm not from here. I don't have a culture.
Mhm.
But then that sucks. So eventually I found my way back. And yeah, I don't know. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, what do you have to say about that?
What do I have to say on the topic of country music?
Yeah. We love country music here too, but we always have a conflicted relationship with it, right?
Yeah,
Or trying
yeah.
to figure it out.
I mean, I think growing up listening to the Chicks, it was like, okay, there's a way for us here. Like, I don't know, there are country musicians to look up to, and
Yes,
I
they
mean, many
are.
more examples, but they're one that we both especially were really obsessed with. But yeah, I also had a journey away from and then back to country music for similar reasons.
Yeah. Well, country music, there are a lot more reasons to like country music now because there's sort of broader representation now in country music, which we love, and we see a lot of that on the program. The styles have opened up quite a bit, and so so we're always trying to figure that out here on Red Barn Radio as well, But I like that you tackled that song, and you said it took you some time.
Yeah, because I don't know. I think when you're creating art of any kind, like you have this opportunity to be a storyteller in a way that's like so much more impactful than just being like, this is what you should believe about this thing.
Yeah, right.
And I take that responsibility really seriously. And I think like I don't know. And also in that, I really want to uplift stories that aren't being told that often. There's a lot of people out there like telling each other how to think about abortion. And like, I think the most important thing we can do is uplift the voices of the people who have actually had that experience, which is 1 in 4 of us who can get pregnant in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really didn't want to mess it up.
Yeah. Well, that's great. It is a serious calling, especially when you're going to take on tough topics. You got to do it right.
Yeah.
Or you can do it wrong.
Yeah.
Which is not what you want to do. So I wonder if you all could talk a little bit about just sort of your timeline. So after college, you guys were both down in Tennessee then, and between that time and the time you landed in Cincinnati, you spent some time apart. Is that right? Am I on the right timeline?
Yeah.
Right? So
yeah, we both had stints away from Tennessee. I taught English in France for a year, and Molly lived in Atlanta for a year. And then, yeah, we kind of both just crashed back in Knoxville at the same time and with the same idea about doing music. At least I don't really even remember the decision to do it. It just became obvious that music was the plan for both of us. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, at the time when you guys parted ways, went different directions, were you in a serious relationship at that point in time? Were you just sort of friends trying to sort out sort of what the relationship meant? Was the decision to sort of spend some time apart your opportunity to sort of challenge and grow the relationship? Can you talk about that some?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we were just like, it was just part of growing up, I think, and like needing to go out and experience new things and like see what else the world had to offer. And I'm really glad for all of our weird winding experiences that brought us here finally, because I feel like it helps us have something to say about the world.
Yeah.
Sally still leaves and goes off to work on a ranch in Colorado every year for a little while, so we still have that to some extent.
What'd you do in Georgia? Was that when you worked with Planned Parenthood? And
yeah, I worked in a couple different abortion clinics down there. Yeah, that's about it.
yeah, for how long?
For about a year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And talk about your time out west and what you've developed out there that's become a routine for you.
Yeah, there's a guest ranch out there called Zapata Ranch, like at the foot of the Great Sand Dunes National Park, and I'm a wrangler there, which is something I always dreamed of doing. So I take people out on horseback rides, and I ride out in the morning to get the giant herd of horses. There are like 50 of them. Yeah, when I got that job, my friend said I was living out the errant murder ballad musician lifestyle, which I loved. Yeah, so that's something I still sneak away and do as often as I can. I actually got back in from Colorado last night. So.
Oh, all right. Well,
yeah.
Welcome back. So do you make some money out there? Does that become a source of income for you?
Yeah, incredibly, I've managed to make money off of my horse passion.
Hey,
it took me a minute.
That's
Usually
great.
it's just spending money.
Horse girls, I hope you're listening.
Yes, it can happen.
All right. Talk about some of the challenges that you guys face doing the music that you do, which I call folk music, and you're writing about some stuff that you want people to listen to. Are you finding that there are enough houses out there for you to play in, venues for you guys to play in where people are coming to sort of listen to what you have to say and think about what you're thinking about?
Yeah, we've toured pretty extensively over the last 3 years or so. And yeah, it's really, really cool getting to go all around the country and hear different people's perspectives on the songs. I've heard a lot of abortion stories all across the country from people coming up to me afterwards and being like, this is my experience. And that's like one of the greatest honors of my life, probably.
Oh, I bet, Molly. Wow. And where have you all traveled where you felt like sort of the most sort of kinship with your audience?
We just got back from Texas not too long ago, and that is always a really good time. Yeah, I don't know. I think the legislature there is also pretty terrifying to live under for a lot of people, and we have that in common being from Tennessee.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, there's something about places where it's like feels scary that people are like really willing to like say the thing and like stand up for what they believe in and kind of like get in the streets at a moment's notice, and I feel like those are my people.
Yeah, I guess sometimes it must be kind of tempting to seek out people who feel the same way you do. There are certain regions of the country, where you could reliably find that sort of perfect echo chamber of folks who, all want to say the same things and feel the same things, and I imagine it's more challenging and stimulating to go to a place like Texas or Florida,
Yeah.
or Tennessee. where
Yeah,
things
and
are not
there's-
simple.
For sure, and there's so much to learn from people who are doing organizing down there or writing political songs and not being afraid to share them down there. Yeah,
Yeah, I think weirdly, like the only place someone has been like, "Are you guys gonna play your abortion song / please don't?" was in Colorado. So,
Oh, uh-huh.
and yeah, we've made it all through Texas and Tennessee, and been well received with that. So, what are you gonna do?
Right. So you guys have gotten some great listens on Spotify. That must be encouraging. Are the songs that people are listening to the most based on those numbers a surprise to you or sort of an encouragement to you? What's your take? Do you follow that?
yeah,
You must.
yeah.
Well,
I think
why
everybody
not?
does.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think? Do you have a clear thought about that?
I don't know. I obviously also follow that, but I think it can feel nice, and it can also be like, this actually isn't the point. Like, this isn't the part that makes me feel best about doing music.
Yeah.
Explain.
Just, I don't know. Sometimes it's strange to see it like flattened into a social media platform like Spotify instead of like a living thing out in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. What song has Bad Faith been the song that you feel has resonated most with your listeners?
That's definitely the one that has the most streams on Spotify. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think maybe it feels like that because it's not like there aren't many like places carved out for people to share abortion stories, and so like anything like that people are really starving for. But yeah, I don't know.
Talk about your new album. I mean, this is a great opportunity for you to do that. It just came out just a couple of months ago. Can you share some things about the new album? Your choices, your production choices, sounds that you were looking for on the album, because the sound that you create as a duo is very different from, it's different from the sound that I hear on the album. There's a lot of textures and different things. What kind of things were you excited to do in the studio for your album?
Well, so our producer was Mike Lapinto, who I actually met out in Colorado, but is a Nashville person. And it was our first time working with a producer, so we were really excited to just get somebody else's take on all of it. I was especially like really jonesing to have fiddle all over it, which we did end up with and was great. Yeah, what do you got?
Yeah, we're just excited to like have a new palette to paint with, sort of. Yeah, I mean, we definitely the decision to do it in Nashville is very intentional. It's kind of like another way to like claim our Tennessean hood.
Sure.
And be like, all right, let's do it. Let's do the country thing.
Yeah.
And like realize that sort of childhood dream.
Well, it didn't feel to me like a country album.
Yeah.
I mean, the album, as I listened through the album, it doesn't feel to me like a country album as much as it sounds more old time to me.
Cool.
The sound, yeah. I think it's the presence of the clawhammer banjo, the fiddle. Fiddle is beautiful. It's really raw. I love it. I like your use of the organ, and the opening two songs on the album. It's very cool sound.
Thanks.
And yeah, did you find that the process was a process that was one that you'd like to duplicate, or are you already looking forward to sort of that next opportunity to get into the studio, maybe with a different feel and different flavor?
We were just talking about this.
What were you saying?
How can we ever afford to do it again?
Yeah, basically. Yeah,
Sure.
I would duplicate every part of the process except for the debt. But yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed the process. I wasn't sure how it would feel to be like, okay, we're spending all this money on 4 days in the studio. But like every moment of it was such a dream. I was like, actually, I could do this forever. Like, when can we do this again? So we'll see. It might take us a minute to get there.
Did your producer bring you the players?
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
And he played on it too.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very, very talented guitar player.
Yeah, well, it's a great sound. I really, really enjoyed listening to the album and love your lyrics. I'm looking forward to delving into them more deeply. You know, it's always frustrating to me when I listen to albums on Spotify and whatnot. I still haven't quite zeroed in on how to locate the lyric sheets. Are those in Spotify for your album? Do you know?
They aren't. Yeah, maybe one of
Do
these
it.
days.
Yeah, do it. I mean, you guys have so much to say, and like each time I listen through a song, I loved Lou. That's a song I've listened to probably the most of all the songs, and there's just a lot going on there, and I'd love to be able to share some of your lyrics with people. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. The Montvales are our guests tonight on Red Barn Radio. We're so glad to have you guys with us, and let's get back to some more music.
Awesome. Sorry, we're going to get back to a little bit of tuning first. We've really hauled these instruments across a lot of climates as of late.
Your next tune is Growing Pains. What's Growing Pains about?
Yeah, so Growing Pains is a good old-fashioned heartbreak song that I wrote back in the day. And we had this funny experience playing it. We played this gig in DC that very last minute we found out was, here if you want this tuner, was double booked with a 300-person speed dating event. But they were like, you can still totally come play, like it'll just be to the speed daters. And the friends we had who tried to come see us were turned away at the door because they weren't speed dating. And anyway, we were like, well, okay, like our album's about heartbreak, but we'll play it for them. And we did. And, you know, hopefully they bonded over that.
Great.
Yeah.
Great story.
Either over their shared love or shared hatred of folk music.
We'll take either.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right, Growing Pains. I don't know which way is up and which is down, but I'm gonna miss a lot of things about the way that we are living now. All these growing pains, I should be 10 feet tall, I should have hit a wall. All these growing pains, keeping me up at night, sleep in a bed of ice. Your name is on my screen, if not your face, if not your hands, if not your cooking, if not your plans, then at least I find it easy now to say that I was the only one there across the mountains, fighting a bear, and alone in the car. You put it into park and leave me sitting there. All these growing pains, I should be 10 feet tall, I should have hit a wall. All these growing pains, keeping me up at night, sleep in a bed of ice. And down on old Poor Valley Road, where we used to go, summer's wearing on. There's a sadness in the lay of the land, and all the best laid plans, a love that's come and gone. All these growing pains, I should be 10 feet tall, I should have hit a wall. All these growing pains, keeping me up at night, sleep in a bed of ice. I don't know which way is up and
Thank you very much.
All right, we're going to do something crazy now.
Watch out. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. This summer's been off the rails, burning in the foothills. We're closing all the blinds. We've been taking our time, and I got you one more ride to see this wild world through. But mama, if you never do, well, you got nothing left to prove. You were lifted to the window, but you couldn't quite get through. Could only stare up at that foreign shade of blue, and now you're back home, wondering why working's gotta be the only thing we do. I'm not gonna ask you twice. You don't have to justify how everything you dream always costs the highest price. This hospital's 10 floors. It's not big enough for the part of me that's opening as you leave. Well, I wish you'd get one more winter away from that western chill. But mama, if you never will, I hope you were on the right road still. You were lifted to the window, but you couldn't quite get through. Could only stare up at that foreign shade of blue, and now you're back home, wondering why working's gotta be the only thing we do. I'm not gonna ask you twice. You don't have to justify how everything you dream always costs the highest price. Well, I just wanna see you laughing, sitting still. But mama, if you never will, I hope you were on the right road still. I hope you were on the right road still.
Well, thanks again very much to Red Barn Radio for having us tonight. It's been such a pleasure. This song was written because of this variety show that my partner put on back in Knoxville called The Ghost Show, which was an event where everybody was supposed to bring a performance piece of some kind that was written from the perspective of a ghost. And I wrote this song for it. And just so you guys know, it's written from the perspective of a ghost who haunts a former Taco Bell and a current Kroger parking lot in Knoxville.
Which is not a walk in the park.
Half a world away, same haunted edge of the continent, making the same mistakes every day like clockwork. What a time to strike up the band.
What a time to strike
As
up
if
the band.
everybody has the energy left to dance. I was told that there were reasons this time would be different. I was told it was all under control. I was led to believe we'd just ride off into the sunset, and the credits would roll. Thought I'd stick around till the weather turned, till the sun came out. But it's been 50 years of rain, and I'm increasingly convinced there's no escape. What a time to strike up the band.
What a time to strike
As
up
if
the band.
anybody has the energy left to dance. I was told that there were reasons this time would be different. I was told it was all under control. I was led to believe we'd just ride off into the sunset, and the credits would roll. Carry me in circles, Christmas lights, and mirthless auctioneers of increasingly dimmer prospects. You know the devil's outside looking for volunteers, and he's calling your name next. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're next. What a time to strike up the band. I was told that there were reasons this time would be different. I was told it was all under control. I was led to believe we'd just ride off into the sunset, and the credits would roll. And the credits would roll.
All right.
Thank you.
There are so many people to thank for our broadcast. First, the Montvales, our guests on tonight's program. We want to thank all of you for listening to our webcast, watching us on social media, and those listening to us on our growing network of Red Barn stations, including WEKU, Red Barn's premier radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Those of you here in the Central Kentucky area, you got to be sure to check out Red Barn TV. It's our weekly program of music, now on ABC 36 WTVQ. Red Barn Radio comes to you from our home, the Arts Place Performance Hall in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. Our website has updates, further information on our guests and our program. We're on the web at redbarnradio.com. Now, before we close out tonight's program, let's bring back the Montvales for one more tune. Tell us about Through the Night.
Through the Night is a existential crisis sort of song. Yeah, it was kind of written during the moment aloft and a leap from one sort of life to another. Kind of wrapped up my decision to quit my job and move to Colorado to be a wrangler by myself and leave everything else behind for a minute, which was very worth it and also entailed some fear. So that's what goes into this song. Yeah, Through the Night.
Okay.
You say I'm looking for bad omens. I won't lie, I keep my eyes open and the cards on the table aren't looking good. Wanna hear your voice, but my phone is broken. So many things left unspoken, and I'm sorry I've been gone more than I said I would. Some nights I look straight in the mirror to say you deserve the bad things bound your way. Some mornings I wake up clearer, try and make the most of a day. You're looking at me now just like a perfect stranger, and I can't bear to watch the long, slow fading of the light. When the world ain't nothing but a puzzle of dangers, let's take what we can get to make it through. Through the night. Through the night. So in the age of information, I'm just going off a hand-drawn map and a feeling that won't budge. So if I thank you for everything you ever helped me do, would that be admitting we've got so much to
The Montvales. Well, that's all for our show for this week. But you can see and hear Red Barn Radio worldwide as we stream live on the web on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch every Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. And it's always great to hear from all of you who listen to Red Barn Radio's archive performances on your favorite streaming platforms. We love hearing from you. Speaking of you listeners, please, before, during, or after you enjoy Red Barn Radio, just take a moment to engage with us. Your comments, your sharing, certainly your subscribing means so much to us. It'll keep us growing and continuing our mission to bring roots music, Southern style, to your neck of the woods and beyond. And now we bid you good night. Let's stick together, let's appreciate each other, and let's join up again next week for another great evening of music and conversation on Red Barn Radio. I'm Bradford Becker. See you next time.